Okay, hello everybody. So welcome back to this session. I hope you guys are doing good. So we are into another session on JavaScript, that is functions in JavaScript. So this is lesson number 29, and we have already covered some of the topics in HTML, CSS, and also in JavaScript. So in this session today, what we are going to learn is about functions, right? So we are going to start up with what is functions, how do we write it, what is the syntax, why is it used, uh, and different examples also we'll see. And at last we'll also see different types of functions. What are the different types of functions which are there in JavaScript? Okay, so this is the content which we are going to cover today. Now, to begin with, if you do not know what is going on here, let me tell you about this. That means if you guys are new, if you do not know what's happening, so let me tell you what is happening. So basically in this channel, which is CodeBeyond, which is by Unacademy, we are providing free content for our front-end development. We are providing very good content on front-end development. So this is a playlist which is which is completed by me, and we are covering here basically HTML, CSS, and JavaScript first, and later on we'll start with our frameworks and libraries. So the very first thing which we have started with is HTML, CSS, and JS. The JavaScript comes up live at 4 to 5 p.m. and then HTML and CSS comes up live at night 8 p.m. to 10:15 p.m. Okay, so that's what is going on, and that's how we are covering it. And we are planning to complete HTML, CSS, and JavaScript by our first or second week of November, right? So that's our plan. Now, if you do not know who is me and something about me, so let me tell you about that. My name is Ritwik Raj, and I'm a corporate trainer. I've also worked as content strategist, subject matter expert, and research analyst many of the edtech companies. I have 3+ years of teaching experience, and I've trained graduates and corporate employees in many of the corporate MNC companies like Edison and Capgemini. And I've trained more than 30K students. It is increasing day by day. The subjects which I take is mostly into front-end development, back-end development, database languages, and some interview guidelines, that how you can apply those tips and tricks to crack your virtual interview session on that as well. It will be really good if somebody can tell me if audio is clear and everybody can hear me properly and everything is visible. I can see everything is visible. I just need one confirmation for my audio. Okay, perfect. So I think it's working. The audio is also great. So let's get started. Let's not waste time. Now, here, before starting our main agenda of this particular topic, let me tell you first very important thing for you. So the thing is, you can use my code RIT10 to get a free Relevel sample test paper. If you can see, the code is written here. Now, some of you must be very happy by understanding this thing, that you will get a free Relevel sample test paper, because you know what is Relevel and you know how to give the test, and the test is of 1000 marks, and this sample test paper will help you a lot to understand what kind of questions can come in the test, right? But some of you do not know what is Relevel also, right? So first let me tell you what is Relevel for the new joiners, and then we are going to start with the session. So Relevel is basically a product by Unacademy. Now what is this? See, many students are from tier 3 college, and they have some other degree also. Let's say that somebody is having BCom or BSc degree, but they want to jump to IT field, right? So there what happens, they have already applied 50-60 MNC companies, but they are not replying back. The companies are not calling you back for an interview or a something to talk. So what's basically happening? Why they're not calling? Maybe because of your degree, maybe because of your college, maybe because of your exam marks. It can be anything, right? Maybe because of your connections also. So now these can be the reasons why you're not getting called and why you're not getting interviewed. So Relevel, being the India's first test hiring platform by Unacademy, it is helping job seekers find their dream jobs. How? So you can get a job basis on your skill and talent. Okay, only on the basis of your skill and talent. Now, how we are going to judge on your skill and talent? Basically, you have to give a test. Okay, the test will be of 1000 marks, and you have to score more than 700 marks. If you score more than 700 marks, we'll create a profile for you, and we will share that profile with multinational companies, whoever we have combined with, whoever is our client, and then the company will interview you and you will get hired. So over 50+ companies, including top startups like Upgrad and all, are connected with us. and 1,000+ job positions across different domains like business development, front-end development, and back-end development are available. So this is what is the test all about. So this test is really very important, and you can use my code to get the free sample test paper so that you get an idea how to crack this test, right? Now, how to register on Relevel? Basically, you have to go to the link which is given in the video description. If you click on it, you will be able to go directly to that page and you can sign up. Sign up is very easy. You have to just put your phone number and you will get an OTP. After that, you will get this page where you have to select test of your choice. So whatever is your skill, you choose that test, whether front-end development, back-end development, or business development. Click on select, and then you have to select the date of your choice when you want to give the test. After that, you have to fill in your details for the admit card. That means the full name, email ID, birth year, current state, and gender. After that, do not forget to put the referral code here. When you put the referral code RIT10, then you will get this screen where you will get a bonus sample paper for the test. So then sit and just check out what kind of questions will be asked in the test and prepare yourself for the test. Okay. So a very good news for you all that you can use the sample paper to get prepared. This is what you have to do to get registered for Relevel. So do not waste time because the seats are limited. So go ahead and register it for it today itself. Okay. And do not forget to use the code. Okay. Now, suppose you're not prepared for the test. If you don't have the skills, then what to do? Now, basically, this is the platform. The CodeBeyond channel is the platform where you can upskill yourself. So every content is free. Some other trainer is taking backend, some other trainer is taking Python, some other trainer is taking SQL, and some other trainer is taking DSA. I am taking front end. So that's how you have to see all the free sessions and upskill yourself, right? Now, also, if you are not getting a full-on update, like when I'm coming live, or you do not remember the timings when I'm coming live, so you can join the Telegram channel, because in the Telegram channel, when you join, you will keep on getting an update when we are coming live and at what time. So please do join the Telegram channel. Not only that, I will also give the codes of my project in Telegram channel, like a Google Drive link or something, so that you can access those links for the projects. Right? So please do join the channel. Also, please do subscribe the CodeBeyond channel and get the notification bell ring, because you need to get an update in the YouTube app also. Also, please like and share the video which is going on, the other videos also. If you want to watch all the other videos, previous videos, the playlist is already there and we can watch all the videos. So please do not forget to like and share those videos with your friends, relatives, and classmates. Let's get started with JavaScript, the functions topic, right? So I hope everybody is here and most of you are watching this session. So please give me a hi or anything. Just give me a thumbs up if you do not want to say anything. And today we are going to understand what is functions, right? So still in JavaScript, we are in the basics. We are still understanding how this JavaScript works, because most of the things which you have understood is already understood by us in C language, right? In C language, we have already understood these things, but now is the time when the things will change. After functions in JavaScript, everything will change. Okay. There'll be new topics coming in. There'll be something which you will not be knowing. So all those things will happen, right? So be ready for that, because now it's not going to be a boring session. Now it's going to be an interesting session. Okay. For JavaScript, HTML, CSS is always interesting because I keep on doing something extra there, right? Today also I'll be showing you in HTML and CSS how to include emojis or how to include different kind of symbols in your web page. So that's also an interesting session. Okay, cool. So let's get started with our functions and let's understand how we are going to do this particular coding. Okay, so let me open my Visual Studio Code. So you can see here that this was the file where we are working, right? And we have already created some of the files here. So let's create one more file here and let's write here functions dot. Now have a look here that when I'm creating this, right, functions.html. Okay, what I can do, I can basically write a particular program here, right? And inside the body, I can use a script tag to write all my script programs, correct? then it will run automatically, right? Till now we were doing the same thing in conditional statement. Hi Amit Kumar. So in conditional statement, in all of the topics, arrays, strings, we are doing the same thing. I've never created a JS file, right? I've never created a JS file. I've shown you a CS file, CSS file, style.css, but I never created any JS file, right? So today what we will do, we'll also try to understand what is an external JavaScript. Okay, because here you are going to understand how this external JS works. Okay, so let's get started. Now here what we will do, first of all, in the normal HTML, I'm just going to mention here body, and in the body I'll just write PID demo. Okay, just an ID I've created. In the document, I'll just change the title. I'll just write here understanding functions in JS, right? Understanding functions in JavaScript. So this is my paragraph. Let's save this. Now, what we are going to do, I have to write the script, right? So I'm going to write a script. Okay. Do not do in this manner. What you can do is you can just write script and hit enter. So you're getting this, right? In this, I'm going to put src. Okay. And I'm going to write here my JS file name. So let's say my JS file name is script1.js. Okay, this is my script file name, and this I'm going to create, let's say, inside my JS folder. So I'm going to create script1.js. Now understand that this script1.js I have written where? I have written inside body. This is not like external CSS. External CSS I used to write link, right? I used to write the link tag, which looks something like this. But here I have not done anything like that. I have done script src script1.js, right? Now I've saved this, okay? And this won't work because obviously my script1.js is in the JS folder. So I have to mention here that is inside JS folder. Okay. Now let's say in script1.js, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just directly write document dot get element by ID. Let's say demo dot inner HTML equal to CodeBeyond. Okay, this is what I have written. Now I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this as well, and I'm just going to open this in my live server. Okay, so let's see what is happening. Let me show you the Chrome now. And I hope you can see the Chrome now. So here you can see that it is printing CodeBeyond, correct? So why is it printing CodeBeyond? Because in my script I have written that document.getElement by ID demo where I want to print CodeBeyond, and here is my demo where it's printing CodeBeyond. So that means these two files are now linked, right? How is it linked? With the use of script tag. So this is what is external JavaScript. Okay. Now that we have understood external JavaScript, what we'll do, we'll now use functions and we'll understand how we can write functions here as well, right? So first of all, let me make you understand what is a function. Function is a very interesting topic. Why is it interesting? Let me give you an example, okay? So the example is something like this. Let's say that you are very hungry, okay? Morning at 8 a.m. you have woke up and you saw that your mom and dad is leaving the home, okay, going for outside for some work, and they'll be back by evening. Okay, so breakfast, lunch, evening snacks, everything is, you don't know how you will have those things, right? You don't have any food in your home right now, and you do not know how you will have your breakfast, how you're going to have your lunch, how you're going to have your evening snacks, because your parents will come back to home by a night, correct? So now your mom came to your room and she said that, hey son, I have created one cake for you, okay, and that cake you can eat the whole day, okay, anytime whenever you're hungry. So what basically is happening, what you are going to do, maybe what you're going to do is let's say at 9 a.m. you went to your kitchen, have a slice of cake, not the whole cake, a slice of cake, and then you came back to your room and started working. Again at 12 p.m. you go to your kitchen, you have a slice of cake and you came back. Again at 2 p.m. you went to your kitchen, you had a slice of cake and you came back to your room. Again at 4 p.m. and similarly again at 6 p.m. And after that your dad came to the home. Okay. So what you're basically doing here, you have something already created and you're using that again and again because you know that you can use it again and again. Correct. And you can do this any number of time. Correct. So a cake is something which is already prepared, right? It's not like at 9 a.m. you're going to the kitchen, you are cooking a slice of cake and then you're having it. No, right? Every time you're not going to the kitchen and you're cooking, you're not cooking. It's already there. You're just using it, right? Function is something like that. Let's say that I want to add two numbers, okay? 2 plus 3, or let's say a plus b. I want to add these two numbers, right? Now I want this addition to happen every time. Like in every certain period of or certain number of lines, after certain number of lines, I want to add these two numbers. So I'm writing once again a plus b, right? Again a plus b, again a plus b. So every time you have to write a plus b, right? Why you need to do that? When you know that you have to do the same task again and again, why don't I create a function, right? And let's name this function as add. And here I'm just going to write a plus b. Okay. What am I doing here? I'm just creating a function which is named as add, and I'm just saying that it's gonna add two things, a plus b. Now this I've already written one time and I can call this function many times, just like how you call your friends many times. So you have your number, you have to just call that number so that you can talk to your friends. You don't have to go and visit your friend to talk to him, right? So phone is something which is like a function to you. You just have to call phone and it will reach your friend's phone, right? So how you can call the how you call in your phone number, you dial it, right? Or maybe you search it in contact and then you found the number and then you click on it. That's the procedure. Here also we have some procedure to call the function. How do we do that? We just write the name of the function. In mobile also we search for the person's number. Here also we search for the function's name and then we put here brackets and then a semicolon. This is what is calling a function. Okay, this is a calling a function, right? And what you have done here, what you have written here, right? This is what is called function. Okay, cool. So this is what is called function. So whenever you write this, this is the only one time which I have written, you can write 25 times only this, and the same thing will happen again and again, again and again, again and again. Okay, so you don't have to write this again and again. Instead, you have to write this one line again and again to do the same task, right? And this is what is your function. Okay, so I hope you have understood what is the use of function. Now we are going to write some programs and you are going to see how in different ways we can write functions and how we can run it. Cool. So let's say that I have a PID demo here. Any questions? Please do let me know if you have any questions. Anything you want to ask, please do let me know. Okay. Now, here what we are going to do is, let's say I have this PID demo, right? Let me write here sample. Okay, PID sample. And in the JavaScript, what I'm going to do, I'm going to comment this. And here I'm going to write one function. I'm going to create a function. First, you have to write the keyword function. Okay. After writing the keyword, you have to give a proper name to your function. So let's say my particular function name should be should be addition. This is what the name I have given to my function. Function always will be having a bracket. Okay, inside the bracket, what do? We write the parameters. So let's say I'm writing the parameter as a1 and a2. This is the parameter which I've given. What is a parameter? Parameter is some values given to the function or some variables provided to the function. Using these variables, the function can write its logic. Okay, so using these variables, the logic will be written inside a function, right? So I'm using this particular two variables, which is also called as parameters, right? And I'm going to return a1 plus a2. Now understand what is return. Once I will call this particular addition function, once if I call this addition function, a1 and a2 will have some values, and that value will get calculated and it's going to return back from where it got called. So let's say that I am writing here document.get element by id. Just gonna write here sample. Here I'm gonna write inner HTML, and here I'm just saying addition. Okay, addition. Okay, here obviously because my addition function is having two parameters a1 and a2, I have to also give two values here. So let's say I'm giving 25, 26. Cool. Now understand very clearly what is happening. I have written document.getIn by id sample.inner.html. That means in this paragraph, output should be printed. What should be the output? The output should be addition 25, 26. Now this is not an output. This is just a function call, right? What is happening in this function call? In this function call, we are calling addition function with two values. Now these two values are called as arguments. What is it called as? Arguments. Okay. These two arguments, where it will go, I'll just hide this. These two arguments, where it's gonna go, it's gonna go to this function because I'm calling. So it's gonna go directly here, and a1 becomes 25, a2 becomes 26. Okay, that's why these are called as parameters. Okay, now it says return a1 plus a2. So a1 plus a2, that means 25 plus 26. How much ever the answer will come, it's going to return back. From where the flow reached here? From here, right? It has to return back here. It has to return back here means the output will come here automatically. So whatever is the output will come here, and that's what will get printed in the sample ID element. Cool. So let me comment this. One second. Okay. Now I have not saved this file. I have not saved HTML also. Let me save HTML, and this I'll save when I'll show you the browser so that you can see the output. So right now in my browser, nothing is there, but now I'm going to save this, and you can see the answer which is saying is 51. You can see this, right? So the answer is 51. So that's what I'm getting in my output, correct? Why? Because I have told to return the values, correct? So this is what is the very first program of your function. How do you write a function and how do you call it? You can call this particular thing anytime, every time, okay? And now what we are going to do, we are going to see something else. So let's say I don't want to return this. I don't want to return the value. Instead, what I want to do, I want to do document.write. So what I'm doing, document.write I'm doing. I'm not returning the values. I'm doing document.write, correct? So what do you think what will happen? So let's save this. Let's go back to my browser and let's understand what is happening. So here you can see it says undefined, right? And down it says 51. So why it is saying undefined? What is the reason that it says undefined? What can be the reason here? Let's understand with a more example. So let's say that I'm removing this. I'm not writing this whole thing. I'm just writing addition 25, 26. This gonna call, this gonna print. Easy. Let's save this. And now let's come back. So if I come back to my browser, you can see it says 51. What's happening? Why it was not working before and why it is working now? Okay, let's understand. So here you can see at the beginning what I was doing, I was saying that you have to print the result in ID, right? And at the same time I was using document.write, correct? So the calling was happening from here for this document, but the function was not returning anything. Instead, the function was printing the value, correct? So the value did not print anything. The value just print undefined. The paragraph just printed undefined and the document.write just printed the value. Okay. So paragraph thing did not work because the value did not reach here. The value did not reach here because I started printing it here itself. Correct. And in the later part, what did I do? I just removed this. So I was not using the ID. I was just saying that, hey, you don't have to print anything in the paragraph. I'm just commanding you to execute the function. That's it. So it's just executing the function and printing the output. That's what is happening. Okay. Now what will happen if suppose I also write here return a1 plus a2. Right? So I've returned a1 plus a2 and also I wanted to write the output. So let's see what happens now. So let me show you the output. You can see 51, 51. Why? Because no error is there. I'm not leaving anything. I want to print with using document.write also, and I want to print with using the ID also. So both is gonna work and both are giving me the output. Right? I hope you have understood till here. Let's move ahead and let's learn what else we can do with this. Okay. Now, what we are going to do is, let's comment this first of all. So I hope you understood what is parameter and argument. Parameter is those variables which you write it inside the function declaration. This is called as function declaration and definition, where you're declaring and defining the function. And this argument is where we are calling the function. So when we are calling the function, we give the values. That is what is an argument. So let me comment this. And now what we are going to do, we are going to understand how we can call this function using something else, something like a variable. Okay. So what I'm going to do, let's say I'm creating a function. Okay. This function, let me name it as multiply. Okay. Here also I'm going to give some variable names. So let's say b1 and b2. Okay. And the same thing I'll do, I'll return b1 and b2. Obviously I'll multiply it because it's the multiply function. Done. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take a variable. Okay. And I'm going to call the function in this variable. Earlier I was directly calling it, but now what I'm doing, I am calling it in the variable. So what's going to happen? Let's understand what's going to happen. So here I'm going to write the values. So let's say I'm writing here 30, comma 20. Cool. Now I'll write document.getElement by ID. I need to print this. I'll print it inside the sample itself. Okay. And here I'm just going to give that variable name, which is X. Okay. Now understand what's going to happen. See, from wherever the function is getting called, the return value will go back there itself. It's not going to go back to anywhere else. So if you're calling the function from here, that means the result will also come back to this place itself. So if you're calling the function from here, it's gonna go, b1 will become 30, b2 will become 20, 30 into 20, 600. That's where it is returning, where it will get returned. Here only it will get returned. So x value will become 600, and that's what I'm printing. So this is also one more way to use functions. So you can use variables to do that. If you see the output, it's 600, right? Let's come back. Let's try something else. Any doubts? I have 4 years gap after B.Tech. मुझे जॉब मिलेगा सर. Okay. Suman Datta. Basically, Suman, if you even have 5 years of gap, you will get a job. Okay. The only thing is, what have you done in that 4 years gap? Whether there was some accident or something serious, why you had a gap. The next thing is, what skills do you know? If you know the skills, if you have the right knowledge, if you can create an application, if you have done some projects, if you have done a lot of things, put it in a resume, and then you're good to go. Nobody's gonna ask why there's a gap. Okay. See, company needs you because they want you to work, and if you can work for them, anybody is gonna pay. Let's suppose that you have given 10 interviews, 20 interviews, and you did not get selected because their main reason was that why you have a gap, right? Why they're thinking like that? Because the company will also think, if he is coming to my company and then he's not gonna work, and because he has a lot of gap, he don't have any experience, he's not gonna work in my company as well. So you have to break that chain. You have to say that, no, I'm going to work, and now that period was something else, but now I know what I am and I can work. Just give me one chance, right? So if the company is good, you will get a chance based on your skills and talent, right? But suppose if you're not getting anything, no job, you're unlucky and you're not getting anything. So then again, you have some more options. You can do freelancing. Okay. Go ahead for freelancing, because most of the people are earning better than a full-time job in freelancing. Correct. So go ahead for freelancing, because they're not going to ask you what you have done. They just give you some work and you have to do it in a deadline, in a period of time, right? So freelancing is not a full-time job. You have to struggle a lot, but yes, earning money is really very simple there if you have the skill, right? So this you can do. Shivang Ramola, in console.log means, Shivang, console.log means basically in the console you have to log the output. So let's say let me show you what is it. So here only I'll do some changes. Okay, let's say I'm not writing this. Okay, I'm gonna comment this, and here I'm just going to print console.log, and what I'm doing here is x. Cool. Console.x, console.log x, right? Now let me show you the browser. Right now nothing is happening, it's just 600. Now I'm going to save the file, and here also you can see that nothing is going to print because I commented this particular line. So it is not printing anything. Then where is this console.log, right? So let's understand where is that. So if you right click, if you go to inspect, right, here you have something called as console. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to just drag it down, and if you go to console, you'll be able to see here 600. Can you see that? That is what is console.log. So inside the console, it's gonna print me the output. Now, why is it needed? It's needed to evaluate some values and do not show it to the user. Keep it internally for the browser. Okay. So console is something which is not shown to the user, but it is for the developers, but it is for the internal user perspective. Okay. So if you want to execute some codes here, you can also do that. If you want to add something, you can add it. You can do all of the things here. So let's say I'm writing console.log. I can write something here. I can write here hello, and it is gonna print me hello, right? So you can run anything in this console. There's no problem in that, right? Now let's come back. I hope I have given you answer. Next question. Can I call the function above the function? Sorry. Can I call the function above the function, or you are saying nested function? Can I call the function inside the function? If you're talking about that, then let me know. Callback function, I'm going to teach you later, not now. Can I use Facebook ads for getting clients? Is this works? For which case are you talking about? Is it for which case you want to bring the clients? Please write the question completely. I'm not understanding free tech. Can you please help me with the question more descriptive? Okay. So this is what I have used in the function right now. I'll again come back to the comments. Free tech, you can just put down the comment and I'll come back to this. Okay. Fine. So this particular program is also done. Similarly, you can do a lot of programs like this. Let me show you some more thing what you can do. So here, let's say I'll try to write something in the console itself. So I'm going to comment this, and here, let's say I'm writing function area. Okay, I'm just writing area, and here I'm just going to give R. Okay, here I'm going to give a particular logic. So I'm going to write here return, let's say 4 by 3 multiplied by 3.14 multiplied by R into R into R. This is what I have given. Okay, let's give a semicolon, and now what I'm going to do, let's say I'm using the same thing, get element by ID, but this time there will be something change. Okay, so I'm going to use sample, I'm going to use inner HTML equal to, and here let's say I'm using area. This time I'm going to give a value. First of all, let's say I'm giving 5. Cool. Let's see whether it is working or not. I hope it works because there's no difference here, so everything is fine. So it's, you can see that it's working, right? 523 point, some reoccurring digits are there. Now if I come back and if I remove this 5, that means I'm not giving any value to it, any particular argument to my parameter, which is R. Then what's gonna happen? Whether it will take a default value which is 0 and it's gonna calculate, or it will not gonna calculate anything. If it's not gonna calculate anything, then what else it will print? So let's see that. So I've not saved the file, so I'm gonna save the file, and you can see what is happening. So it says NaN. That means it's not a number, right? So what is happening basically, it is coming to my code, it is going to the function, but because I'm not given arguments, it's not having any particular parameter here, and that's why it's not getting calculated, and that's why it is returning not a number answer. Okay, so anytime whenever you do not give any argument, that's what gonna happen. Suppose if I don't even give this particular brackets itself, so what is the meaning of this? This means in a real world example, what does it mean? That you have a mobile phone, that is a function, you're calling your friend's number, so you're dialing the friend's number, and when you have given 10 numbers to your mobile phone and then you're hitting on call, it's gonna call, right? But here what I'm doing, here I'm not even given complete number, I'm just giving half number, maybe 5-digit of mobile number. So how it's gonna call my function? It's not gonna call my function, right? So let's understand what is happening here. What will be my output if I save this file? So I'm just going to show you my Chrome, and now I'm going to save this, and you can see what is happening. So it's going to print all the statement, the complete function statement is going to print it. Okay, because the area the area thing, the area word is only related to this. If you can see, when I'm selecting, it's only showing me here. So browser is understanding that user wants something here with related to this, but he is not calling it. He is not calling the function. Calling will only happen when you put a bracket or some arguments, something like that. But here I'm not calling. So it is printing everything which is written here. Okay, so the whole thing is getting printed. Lot of questions. Pre-tech, slow down. I'll take all your questions, okay, because you're regular to my session. So let me just take down all your questions, and then I'm going to show you, because the sessions are already pre-planned, right? This 1 hour, whatever I have designed, right? This is already pre-planned. So we don't have time to actually show you the whole bigger code, correct? So that's why just let me write it down so that I can give you all these things. So you need Fibonacci sequence with function. Can I use Facebook ads for getting clients? Is this works? Yes, it will work if you know how to do that, right? If you know how SEO works, if you have experience on that, you can use it for your website. There's no problem in that. If you know how to use Google Ads, if you have any idea, you can use that. There's no problem. Okay, you have also asked for callback function. I think callback function will be covered tomorrow, right? Because we are coming up with the dates tomorrow, working with dates function, and also one project is also there with dates. So we will understand what is callback function tomorrow. Okay, cool. So I have put it down. Let me see how we can include this in my session. Maybe by tomorrow itself, we will cover that. Okay. But right now I have to cover a lot of things here as well, and we have only less time. So perfect. Let's go ahead. Now we have understood how to do this. If you are not writing any brackets and all, what is happening. And now what we are going to do, let's say we are returning this value, right? And in the document.element by ID, I'm printing the area. But suppose I want to put it as a statement. So let's say that I'm putting the area of the cone is, let's say I've written this, okay? And area of the cone I've written, and then what I'm going to do here is area of the cone, and then I'm going to put the function directly, right? Is this much, right? So let's save this and let's see what is happening. If I save this and if I go back to my browser, 1 second, the area of the cone is area, okay, R, why I have written here R5, right? Let's see what's happening. So if I go back to my Chrome, you can see the area of the cone is, and then the value, correct? So it is giving me everything. It is giving me the statement, whatever I want. And that's what is your function, how you can work with it. Okay. Now what we are going to do, we are going to use 2 paragraphs, okay, with 2 different IDs, right? So let's say that I'm using here C, and I'm going to use here one more. I'm going to just write here sample1. Okay. Going to save this file, and in script1.js, what I'm going to do, I've already created one area R kind of thing. Let's say I'm commenting this. I'm going to create a new file. Let's say my name is my function. Okay. So I'm just calling it in the beginning, and here I'm going to write function. I'm just going to write here, let's say Ritwik, because that's my function name. And here what I'm going to do is, let's say I'm putting a variable, let's say x equal to 5, right? Now understand that this, whenever you're doing, right, this is called as local variable. Why is it called as local variable? Because you are declaring a variable inside a function. So the rule of local variable is that this variable will be used only inside this function. You can't use it outside this function, the variable. Okay. So get element by ID. I'm just going to write here sample, and to this inner HTML, and I'm going to just print, first of all, I'm going to print the type of, okay, the type of what? X, and then plus, give a space, and then I'm going to type the value of X, right? This is what I've done. Now, if I save this, what's going to happen? Already I've called the function. So what's going to happen? It's going to print that, right? Let's see whether it is printing or not. So I'm going to go to my, this thing. Let's save this. It's printing number and then 5. Number is the type of, that means the data type. And then the 5 is nothing but my output, right? Let's come back. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to print this thing outside this function. So it's in the JavaScript file, but outside this function. So you're calling this particular function, it's gonna print always number 5, but then it has to also come here. So whether it will print this or not, because I'm using X here, and X is a local variable, whether it will use this or not. So let's understand. So if I save this and if I go to my browser, you can see here, one second, anything wrong? Yes, something is wrong. I have not written sample 1 here. Okay, now I think everything is fine. Let's save this. 1 second. Let me show you the browser. Now let's save this. So sample 1, let me see what is happening here. Anything is wrong? Uncaught reference, X is not defined at script1.js, right? So what is happening? This is not taking the X value. Okay, that's why it is not printing it. Why is it not taking the X value? Because X is a local variable, right? So it is not printing the another part, correct? That's what is happening here, right? So here it's not leaking X. What I can do is, let's say I'm putting here, let Y equal to 10. Okay, and let's say I'm putting here Y, here also Y, right? Sorry, Y. Okay, cool. Let's save this and let's check out what is happening now. So if I go back to my browser, you can see here number 5, number 10. This is for your X, this is for your Y. What I have done now, this is basically called as global variable. So I hope you have now understood what are the scope, variable scope. The variable scopes are local and global scope. Local scope will only work inside that particular function where you are declaring that particular variable. Global variable will be used globally. So I can also print this thing inside this. Okay, that's what is your scope, right? Now coming to the another part, which is the types of functions. Let's understand what are the different types of functions. Okay, different types of functions, if you talk about, we have 3 different types of functions. Okay, we have named functions. I'm just going to write it here. Let me comment this because again I'm going to show you some programs. So let me comment this. And here I'm just going to write the different types of functions. The different types of functions which we have is basically named functions. Now what are these named functions? We have already used this. When you give a name to the function, here as you can see, the name of the function is Ritwik, right? So that's our named function, right? The second one is anonymous function. Anonymous function is those functions where you don't give any kind of name to it. So the functions which does not have any name, that's what is anonymous function. The third one is nothing but the IIFE. Now what is this IIFE? This is immediately invoked function expression. Now from all of this, the most important one is anonymous. Okay, because most of the time you will be using anonymous. And immediately invoked function expression is something which is new for you, as you must not have used this in your previous languages like C or any other language, right? So we are going to see all these 3 using only one example. We are going to see how to use this. Okay, so the first one we are going to see is named function. We have already seen this many a times, so we're just going to write one example for this and we are going to understand how it's written. Okay, Let's say I'm writing here function. One second. Okay, function, and let's say I'm writing here odd or even, and I'm going to just give here one number as a parameter. So why it is called as named function? Because you have given a name to the function, that's odd or even, right? I'm going to put here if. So if, this is the logic, if number, the remainder, right, 2 is equal to 0, what's going to happen? It's going to print something. So it's going to return number is even, right? The next thing is your else. So I'm going to just write here else. I'm going to print here return number is odd. Cool. This is what it's going to do. So this is what is your named function. So what you have to do, you have to just call this particular thing. You have to just let's say, I hope you know what you have to do. You have to just do print this particular thing. So let's say what I'm doing, document dot. I'll just show you how to do that. Later on you can use it for other types of functions. Let's say I'm using sample. Here I'm going to use inner.html, and here I'm just going to just to call odd or even with a number. So let's say 5. Okay, and let's see what's happening. So if I save this, one second, sorry. Yeah, if I save this, if I show you my browser, it says number is odd, right? So that's how it's going to work. That is what is a named function, right? So I'm just going to write here named function. Okay, now let's move ahead. We'll use the same kind of program, but this time we will use anonymous function. So how to do that? Let me copy this, let me comment this, and let me come down. And here I'm just going to write anonymous function, and here I'm going to type the same code, but this time we have to make sure that we don't give any name to this particular function. So how do we write a particular function? What we'll do here is we'll write here let, and we will give odd or even. This is a variable, okay, not a function. And here I'm going to just write function, and in this I'm going to directly give a number. Okay, so what basically I have done, I have not given any name to my function. I can remove this now because now this is of no use. So I've taken a variable, right, and to that variable I have said that this is a function. Okay, now this odd or even, it is becoming a function and also a variable. So this is the way how you can write this. And one second. And if you see the output, it still gives me number is odd, right? So this is another way to write, and this is what is called an anonymous function. We have just given the name to the variable and the function name is not given. So we are directly using it, but to call, you have to call it like this. Okay, so this is what is called as anonymous function. Now the next thing what we are going to do is we are going to see what is an IIFE, that is immediately invoked function expression. So we will not use the same example, we'll do something else. Let me comment this, let me go back, and here I'm going to just write IIFE. Okay, now here what is IIFE? Immediately invoked function. That means this particular invocation will happen immediately. You don't have to even call it. So what we are going to do here is, let's say let message. Okay, and here I'm going to write function directly inside that variable. Inside a variable we give the value, right? But right now here inside a variable, I'm giving the value which is working as a function. Okay, so I'm not giving a normal value like 25 or 10, but I am putting inside this variable a total function itself. Okay, so the function, let's say I'm writing it as, whenever you're using this kind of function, please make sure the curly brackets and brackets you're not removing. Everything should be closed, because later on you will have problem. Some of the other curly bracket you will not get closed, and you will not be able to understand why it is not closed. So make sure that you're not removing anything, you're just writing it as it is. So let's say this is my particular code, right? I have written a function, I've given a local variable name which is having Ritwik Raj, and then I'm returning the name, right? And here I can just return the result, or I can just write result, right? So if you do like something like this is what is called as IIFE. We don't normally use IIFE in our most of the codes. We use anonymous and named function. Okay, IIFE I'm going to show you work in my projects. When we'll do the projects, then we'll make you understand what is that. Okay, in that we will see. Cool. So this is what is the types of functions. Now, one more thing which I wanted to show you, because I think I forgot to show you when I was teaching you variables. So let me show you what is that. Just one second. Yeah. So here, let's say I'm commenting this. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, have a look what I'm doing. So basically here, what thing I'm going to write is, let's say I'm writing here function. Okay, and I'm going to write here let's say name function. Okay, and here I'm going to, okay, let's not write name, let's write introduction. Okay, introduction, and here I'm going to give name, comma, not comma, let's first take out name, and inside this I'm going to print something. Let's say I'm printing document.write. Okay, and here in document.write I'm going to print the statement. So let's say I'm printing, hi, my name is. Now this name, what I want to print, should come directly from this name which I've written here. Okay. Now you can see when I'm selecting this name is also getting selected, and that name is also getting selected, right? That means it is not understanding what I'm doing. I want it to write, hi, my name is Ritwik, and I will pass that Ritwik in the introduction. So let's say I'm writing here introduction. I'm going to pass my name here, okay, as a string. Let's say something like this. That's what is my function call which I wanted to do. Okay, now when I'm doing this, let me also write here. So let's see what's happening here, because I'm not printing it. I'm just writing name here. Obviously it's gonna not print anything. So let me show you what is happening. I'm gonna save this first of all, and you can see here what is happening. Hello, hi, my name is name, right? It's not printing hi, my name is Ritwik, right? So what you have to do here is, we have a certain kind of template driven code written here. Okay, how do we write that? First of all, we just write here dollar, and then we put the bracket, and then we write here name. Okay, now this bracket which you have given is, should be a curly bracket and not a, this is what is called as a template driven code. Okay, now if you can see again, this is gonna work or not, I'm not sure, right? So let's understand. Now if I go back, you can see again it is not working. It says hi, my name is dollar name, right? It is not printing what I want, right? Now why is it happening like that? Let's understand. If I go back here, let's say I'm changing this. I've written console.log. Okay, this template driven code should run. Function introduction Ritwik is Ritwik. Hi, my name is dollar. Something is wrong here. One second. This should be working. Okay, there are some doubts. I'll take those doubts later on. Why this is not working? Let me check. Is this deprecated? Is this not there now in JavaScript? The new versions, I don't know if it is there or not. Okay, I think it's not there in the new version. The way I'm writing is correct. No, it should be curly bracket. Okay, cool. I think this is deprecated. So, or else let me check what is the other thing which I have to do here. This what is called as template driven code. If I would have made you understand this, your Angular must have become much more easy, because in most of the Angular code we use template driven codes. So I was trying to explain you this, but I think it's not working here. Let me check out this, and maybe in dates, when I'm coming tomorrow for dates in JavaScript, we'll try to understand how this is working. Okay, I think there's some change in the newest version, so let me see what is that. But in the whole script.js, script1.js, what all things we have understood? We have understood about the functions, how do you write the functions, and what are the different types of functions, right? So perfect. This was all about functions, and today at night when we are coming for HTML, we are going to understand embed entities, symbols, emojis, all of those things, right? So be ready for that. And tomorrow we are going to see one more project on dates. We are going to do one project. Okay, use tilde sign beside one. You can find. No, I don't think. Cool, no worries. I'll do research about it. I'll see how it can be solved. Okay, do not worry. Because this thing is very important, because in all JavaScript frameworks and libraries you will be using this template driven codes, and from here the basics start. So don't worry. I'm going to check out this, what is happening here and what is the problem. And tomorrow when I'll explain dates in JavaScript, all the functions in dates, then I'm going to show you how to use that. Okay. So cool. What all things we have understood today? We have understood all about the functions, the types of functions, and all of those things. So do try to check out and understand and practice the codes for it, because tomorrow we are going to directly do one project based on it. Okay. So that project will be a kind of a bigger project. Okay. We are going to make our web page responsive, and we are going to see how we can use date functions in that, right? So please do join tomorrow's session as well, because right now from now till the end of this course we are going to do a lot of projects. So looking at the sessions, you'll be understanding what different projects we are making, right? So to keep an update on all the project links which I'll be sending, please do join Telegram channel. I'll be soon sending all the project files using a Google Drive link, so that you'll have access to all the project codes. Okay, so please do join the Telegram channel. Also please subscribe to the channel, so that you get benefited of whenever I'm coming live and whatever I'm teaching. Also please like and share the video. If you have already liked it, please do share it with your relatives and your fellow mates, classmates, everybody. So thank you so much for joining the live session. Please come back at 8 p.m. HTML, because there we are going to enjoy. We are going to see what are the different tags and symbols which we can use to give emojis and symbols in a web page. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye. Take care.